In the heart of Jerusalem, atop a hill known as Mount Moriah, lies a place that has captivated hearts and minds for millennia: Temple Mount. This elevated platform, a seemingly modest expanse of stone, is a crucible of faith and a testament to the enduring power of belief. It is a place where the physical and the spiritual converge, where every stone whispers tales of devotion and loss. To stand upon Temple Mount is to step onto a stage where history has unfolded in its most dramatic forms. It is to walk in the footsteps of prophets and kings, conquerors and liberators. This is the very ground where Abraham, the father of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, is said to have prepared to sacrifice his son, an act of obedience that echoes through the ages. The Temple Mount has been a focal point of religious and political tension for centuries. From ancient battles to modern-day disputes, this sacred site has witnessed countless struggles. Today, it remains a symbol of enduring conflict, reflecting the complex history. Long before the rise of empires and the clamor of clashing swords, Mount Moriah stood as a silent sentinel in the Judean hills. Even then, a sense of the sacred permeated the air. It was here, according to Jewish tradition, that Abraham faced his greatest test. Imagine, if you will, Abraham ascending the slopes, each step heavy with the weight of God's command. He carried with him his son, Isaac, and the wood for a sacrificial pyre. Can you hear the wind whispering through the trees, a mournful symphony accompanying his heavy heart? At the summit, Abraham built an altar, bound his son, and raised his knife, prepared to offer the ultimate sacrifice in obedience to God. Just as he was about to strike, an angel stayed his hand. God provided a ram caught in a thicket as a substitute. This act of faith, of unwavering obedience and divine intervention, forever imbued Mount Moriah with profound spiritual significance. It became a place where heaven and earth seemed to touch, a place where God's presence was palpable. From a nomadic tribe, the Israelites under King David forged a powerful kingdom. David captured Jerusalem, establishing it as the capital. Solomon, renowned for his wisdom, initiated the grand construction of the temple. Thousands of laborers hewed massive stones, their hammers ringing out. Cedar wood from Lebanon and gold flowed into Jerusalem. After 7 years, the temple stood complete, a beacon of faith. The Holy of Holies housed the Ark of the Covenant. Jerusalem emerged as the spiritual heart and political capital of the kingdom. The glory of Solomon's temple was not destined to last. Weakened by internal strife, the kingdom was divided. The Babylonians conquered Jerusalem, leading to the temple's destruction in 586 BCE. For the exiled Jewish people, this was a profound loss. They held on to prophetic promises of rebuilding. Under Cyrus the Great, they were allowed to return to Jerusalem. With renewed faith, they began rebuilding the temple. By 516 BCE, the Second Temple stood completed. It became a symbol of Jewish rebirth and hope. By the 1st century BCE, the Roman Empire had extended its reach across the Mediterranean, incorporating Judea. The temple, a symbol of Jewish identity, became a focal point of Roman suspicion. Herod the Great sought to balance the demands of his Roman patrons with the expectations of his Jewish subjects. He expanded and renovated the Second Temple, transforming it into a magnificent structure. Yet, even as Herod's temple gleamed, a sense of foreboding hung in the air. Then, Jesus began preaching a message of love, forgiveness, and repentance. His presence in the temple seemed to foreshadow a coming storm. The Roman Empire, vast and seemingly invincible, cast a long shadow over the ancient world. Yet, a new force was gathering strength in the Arabian desert, driven by faith and poised to reshape Jerusalem. This was the rise of Islam, transforming Temple Mount into a place of profound significance for Muslims. The Prophet Muhammad united Arabia under Islam, expanding rapidly from North Africa to Persia. In 638 CE, Caliph Umar's army reached Jerusalem, leading to its peaceful surrender. Umar entered the city on foot, a gesture of humility contrasting with previous conquerors. Umar granted Jews the freedom to worship, allowing them to return to the city after centuries of exile. Upon entering Jerusalem, Caliph Umar sought out the revered Temple Mount. Guided by the city's patriarch, he discovered it neglected, overgrown with weeds and debris. According to Islamic tradition, this is where the Prophet Muhammad ascended to heaven on his night journey. Umar initiated the construction of a shrine atop the sacred rock. The resulting dome of the rock stands as an architectural marvel and a symbol of Jerusalem's Islamic heritage. The dome of the rock, with its octagonal shape and colorful mosaics, stands as a testament to the Umayyad Caliphate's architectural innovation. The Umayyads transformed Jerusalem into a hub of Islamic learning and culture. This structure exemplifies the era's finest craftsmanship. It symbolized the Umayyads' religious and political influence in the region. The Umayyads fostered an environment where Jews and Christians could worship freely, promoting coexistence. The fall of the Umayyad Caliphate led to new contenders for Jerusalem's control. The Abbasid Caliphate heralded a golden age of Islamic culture. By the 11th century, the Seljuk Turks had risen from Central Asia. They advanced into the Levant, seizing Jerusalem from the Abbasids. This incited the First Crusade in 1095, with the goal of reclaiming Jerusalem. The Crusaders took Jerusalem in 1099, initiating a tragic period. The Islamic world soon mobilized to retake Jerusalem, marking centuries of strife. The First Crusade's capture of Jerusalem in 1099 CE marked a pivotal moment in history. Christian knights unleashed a brutal massacre on Muslims and Jews, sparking widespread outrage. In response, Muslim rulers united, setting aside their differences to reclaim Jerusalem. By 1187 CE, Saladin, a Kurdish Muslim leader, had risen to prominence. Saladin's forces advanced on Jerusalem, determined to liberate the city. The decisive Battle of Hattin paved the way for Saladin's victorious entry into Jerusalem. Saladin's conquest of Jerusalem in 1187 CE marked a watershed moment in the history of Temple Mount. Unlike the bloody conquest of the First Crusade, Saladin's victory was characterized by mercy and religious tolerance. He allowed the defeated Christians safe passage out of the city, even providing them with provisions for their journey. For Saladin, the liberation of Jerusalem was not merely a military triumph, but a sacred duty. He immediately ordered the removal of Christian symbols from the Dome of the Rock and the Al-Aqsa Mosque, restoring them to their former glory. The Islamic call to prayer once again echoed across the city, a testament to the return of Muslim rule. Under Saladin's Ayyubid dynasty, Jerusalem entered a period of relative peace and prosperity. The city's walls were strengthened, its markets flourished, and scholars from across the Islamic world flocked to its renowned madrasas, or Islamic schools. Saladin, recognizing the importance of Jerusalem to all three Abrahamic faiths, allowed Jews and Christians to visit their holy sites and practice their religions freely. He even invited Jewish communities expelled from Jerusalem by the Crusaders to return and rebuild their lives in the city. Saladin's reign, marked by justice, tolerance, and piety, became a model for Muslim rulers who followed him, solidifying Jerusalem's status as a city revered by Muslims, Christians, and Jews alike. The Ayyubid dynasty, founded by Saladin, gave way to the Mamluks in the 13th century, a powerful military caste who ruled Egypt and the Levant for centuries. The Mamluks, fierce warriors and shrewd administrators, continued the legacy of Islamic patronage over Jerusalem, restoring mosques, building madrasas, and ensuring the smooth running of religious affairs. In the 16th century, the Ottoman Empire, centered in Constantinople, emerged as the dominant power in the Islamic world. The Ottomans, under Sultan Selim I, conquered the Mamluk Sultanate, incorporating Jerusalem into their vast empire. The Ottomans, known for their administrative efficiency and religious tolerance, ushered in a new era for Jerusalem and its holy sites. Sultan Suleiman the Magnificent, Selim's son and successor, embarked on an ambitious program of restoration and construction in Jerusalem. He rebuilt the city walls, renovated the Dome of the Rock, adding the distinctive Islamic tiles that adorn its exterior, and constructed numerous fountains and public buildings, transforming Jerusalem into a thriving center of Islamic learning and pilgrimage. The Ottomans, like the rulers before them, recognized the delicate religious balance in Jerusalem. They established a system of custodianship over the holy sites, entrusting their care to various Muslim families, a tradition that continues to this day. This system, though not without its complexities and occasional tensions, helped to maintain a semblance of order and prevent outright conflict over the control of Temple Mount. The Ottoman Empire, once a formidable power, gradually declined in the early 20th century, facing internal strife and the rise of nationalism within its diverse population. The weakening Ottoman grip on Jerusalem coincided with the emergence of Zionism, advocating for a Jewish homeland in Palestine. Jewish immigration increased dramatically, heightening tensions with the indigenous Arab population. Following World War I, Palestine came under British control, facing competing claims from Jewish and Arab nationalists. The stage was set for a conflict with far-reaching consequences for Jerusalem and its holy sites. The 1948 Arab-Israeli War resulted in a divided Jerusalem, with the Old City falling under Jordanian administration. Jewish people, unable to visit the Western Wall, turned it into a symbol of their longing and sorrow. The Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan took on the role of guardians for the Old City's sacred sites. The stationing of Israeli troops underscored the ongoing tension and the city's delicate peace. The Six-Day War in 1967 dramatically altered the political dynamics and the destiny of Temple Mount. The Six-Day War marked a pivotal moment in Middle Eastern history. Israeli forces took control of the West Bank, East Jerusalem, the Golan Heights, Gaza Strip, and Sinai Peninsula. The capture of East Jerusalem held immense religious and historical importance. Israel grappled with the challenge of asserting sovereignty over East Jerusalem. The resolution was a delicate balance, a status quo arrangement. Israel allowed the Islamic Waqf to maintain administrative control over the Temple Mount. This arrangement did little to alleviate the underlying tensions. Despite political tensions, Temple Mount remains deeply significant for millions. The Dome of the Rock and Al-Aqsa Mosque are central to Islamic faith. The call to prayer resonates through the Old City, marking the rhythm of daily life. The Western Wall stands as a symbol of Jewish perseverance and faith. For Christians, Jerusalem is a testament to the life and teachings of Jesus. The interwoven histories of these faiths create a rich tapestry of belief and devotion. The future of Temple Mount is a complex interplay of history, faith, and politics. The current situation maintains a delicate balance, but doesn't address deeper issues. Minor incidents here can escalate quickly. Historical grievances continue to influence the present. Jerusalem's status is a pivotal issue in ongoing peace efforts. As we stand here, on the revered grounds of Temple Mount, we are enveloped by the rich tapestry of history and the whispers of faith. This elevated plateau, atop Mount Moriah, has seen the ebb and flow of empires and the clash of civilizations. Temple Mount has remained a steadfast witness, absorbing the aspirations and dreams of countless generations. Temple Mount, with its profound beauty and spiritual significance, is also a site deeply scarred by historical conflicts. The remnants of ancient battles and the persistent echoes of old grievances remind us of the ongoing challenges in our pursuit of peace and understanding. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict, rooted in competing claims to this sacred land, continues to cast a shadow over Temple Mount. The fragile status quo, a delicate balance maintained over decades, remains susceptible to political shifts and religious fervor. Our challenge is not to erase history or ignore conflict. Instead, we must acknowledge the complexities of the past, respect the deeply held beliefs of all faiths, and seek common ground in our shared humanity. Despite its contested history, Temple Mount remains a place where faith has endured through centuries of turmoil. Pilgrims from various faiths continue to visit, drawn by a shared belief in the power of prayer and the desire for spiritual connection. In these acts of faith and quiet moments of reflection, we glimpse the possibility of a future where tolerance, respect, and understanding lead to lasting peace. The future of Temple Mount, like the future of Jerusalem itself, remains unwritten. It will be shaped by the choices we make today, by our willingness to engage in dialogue, to bridge divides, and to seek solutions that respect the rights and aspirations of all people. The world is watching, hoping for a resolution to this ancient conflict, a resolution that will allow Jerusalem to fulfill its destiny as a city of peace, a beacon of hope, and a testament to the power of faith to unite rather than divide. The story of Temple Mount is a story that belongs to all of us. It is a story that challenges us to confront our own prejudices, to embrace our shared humanity, and to strive for a world where faith, rather than being a source of division, becomes a force for peace, understanding, and reconciliation. As we leave this sacred ground, let us carry with us the lessons of history, the power of faith, and the unwavering belief that even in the most contested corners of our world, peace is possible if we have the